That is true. Agree with that for sure. And then lastly, we have another conspiracy added to the roster here. Just like Black Myth Wukong, PS5 action RPG Andrea is delayed indefinitely on Xbox. Uh-oh. So here's a situation where we start to see another game year after year being released on PlayStation but not released on Xbox. And people are saying it's a conspiracy. They're blocking games. I think when they're blocking games, they're quite obvious about the fact that they're blocking games, similar to what they did with Stellar Blade. They said this is going to be our game, our exclusive. Same with Rise of the Ronin. When we see Baldur's Gate come out on PlayStation and then months later come out on Xbox, when we see Black Myth Wukong released on PlayStation and Xbox still clamoring to try to get it to work, and now we're seeing the same story with the last song. I think this is a Series S version. And hearing the developers, another developer again, say it's been hit with a delay because of trying to get it to work on the Xbox platform to meet the standards. So I think, time and time again, and great balancing, Mr. Dorgon.
This is my tinfoil hat. I don't actually have a tinfoil hat, so I'm just balancing stupidly some very expensive headphones upon my head.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, let's not do that one, eh? I saw both of these this week. There's been a little, as you say, quite a bit of conspiracy around games launching on Xbox recently and being secret PlayStation exclusives. Black Myth being one of them. There's been some heavy reporting, especially from Forbes and Paul Tassai on that one. He's got an insider telling him that it was a secret Sony deal. You've got other insiders saying, well, no, Sony just funded it across the line. Otherwise, the game would never have got made. And you've got others still saying, well, no, it's an Xbox limitation, which it could be all three. It could, but it's most likely the funding and the Xbox limitations, because we've seen it, as you say, with Baldur's Gate 3 before. The two new ones are kind of, they've outwardly said what it is. One of them has said it's the Series S. They can't get it running on that device, so the parity clause that is over on the Xbox side means that for now, in the console world, it is a PlayStation exclusive, which great for PlayStation players. It sucks for Xbox players. These things should be coming out at the same time, but when you've got a grossly underpowered bit of hardware that you have to release it on at the same time, it can be quite difficult. And the other one kind of shocked me more because they just said, game's ready to go. We've got the Xbox build of it. Microsoft just aren't responding to us. What is going on over there? You've got games launching on your competitor's system, and one of them's ready to go on your system, so it could come out on the same day, but you're not answering them. You're not emailing back. They haven't heard from you in 3 months, so they can't launch the game on Xbox. Like, both sides of the fence have got major issues at the moment. They've got CEOs who are doing an absolutely terrible job, but my days, that one is just embarrassing. Haven't answered an email, so you ain't getting a game, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we have a he said, she said, nothing official, but I feel, like I said, when they do make it official, they make it obvious that these are exclusives, timed exclusives. We saw this with the Marvel vs. Capcom game, again, released on PlayStation as a timed exclusive. They needed more time, but guess what? As of recently, they announced it's coming in 2025. So I think you can see it as a pattern of devs, and when it happens over and over and over again, it's hard to ignore that when games come out first on the PlayStation and then they take longer to come out on the Xbox, you gotta start calling a spade at that point.
Yeah, very
Unless
much
they're
so. Like I say,
paying for all of these micro exclusivities for a bunch of months to make it look like the Xbox is worse, the effect on the interpreter is still the same. They are either creating this illusion and it is sticking, or the illusion is real.
when you start to see a pattern, you have to ask why that pattern is forming. It's like when we see terrible accusations against public figures, and there's multiples of them. It's not just say, oh, one person with a he said, she said type situation, but 17 people coming out and say they did this terrible thing. You don't get that much smoke without a fire. So when you've got multiple developers, including Game of the Year winning developers like Larian Studios, saying the Xbox Series S is a problem, it's why we can't launch on that platform at the same time as everything else. And then you've got, I can't remember what they're called, Science something, the guys behind Black Myth Wukong, these two others that we've got now, and other developers across the board saying, Xbox is a problem to develop for, it's a problem to get games running on, or it's a problem to get games approved on. That pattern, that much smoke, it starts to say, yeah, there's a problem over there. What it means for us on a PlayStation podcast, on the PlayStation players side of things, and definitely for the guys on PC, is that we get more games than other people. But it absolutely sucks because these are not paid for exclusives. Like you said, they're very open and honest, which is one of the only things they're open and honest about at the moment, when they've got console exclusivity, and it will go to Xbox at another time, or Nintendo at another time. So for them to not openly say anything on this, and many developers say, yeah, it's an Xbox issue, it's a Microsoft issue. Microsoft and Xbox really need to take a long, hard look in the mirror, because those gamers should not be suffering and missing out on third-party games and having to wait an unknown infinite amount of time longer to get the same titles as PlayStation. That just should not be happening.
Yeah. But there you have it. Entry looks very much like a Soulsborne type of game. The Last Song coming out September 19th, 2024 to PlayStation and Steam, later to Xbox.